So, first of all, thank you for your time. Thank you for
Thank you for having me.
the first question, it must be the obvious one, but we ask all the filmmakers, how and when did you start to work on the film, on the project?
We started working on Qaher in 2023, pretty much 2 months before we were filming. It was such a spontaneous film, let's say. We wanted to make it as our graduation film, and we had another project in mind first, but then things didn't work out, so Qaher was born. And while I was thinking about it, I thought about the experiences that I would relate to the most as a Palestinian filmmaker living in diaspora. So that's how my character Jason was born, someone who was living for the past many years outside of Palestine, and he comes back to surprise his little sister, his sister, not little or old. He comes back to surprise his sister, and basically, he's the one who gets surprised by how the country has changed, how everything has changed. You know, it's a completely different country than what it was years ago. And that's how the film was born. I just thought that this maybe is something I relate to because I haven't lived in Palestine for, back then it was 6 years. I haven't lived there for 6 years, and each time I come back to visit, I'm surprised more by how different everything is right now. And I thought maybe Jason can experience the same, can also rediscover Palestine, and this way the audience might start discovering what is Palestine, what is the West Bank, what is Ramallah, how do the people there act, the hospitality, the streets, everything there. So I wanted to take the audience through a journey in Ramallah, and through that, they would all together with Jason discover Palestine and discover what does it mean being a Palestinian.
In our outlet, we do care a lot about the industry, the industrial side of things. How hard was the funding to find the right money to tell the story that you wanted to tell?
Honestly, Qaher was fully self-funded. It was actually one of the, I don't want to say cheapest, but actually funding in Palestine or filming in Palestine is very expensive, but we were minimum crew, minimum equipment, minimum everything, that the whole film did not cost us much. We basically were 5 to 10 people on set maximum. We barely had any lights. We just had a camera with us, and we worked most of it in post-production. So we wanted to play it safe, smart, cheap, and also, honestly, this was our plan from the very beginning, that we're going to use as little resources as we can, because we know how resources there could be a bit different, or actually very different than resources in Poland. So when we were going there, we knew that we're going to use as little as possible, just to, keep expectations low so we don't get surprised when we're there.
I know that for a director, for an author, it might be easy to tell a story with out of character, not being rude in a personal level. But why did you choose a middle-aged man, being you a young woman?
Yes, of course. So I don't know, maybe I have this thing where every time I try to write a story, it's always a male character, and it's nothing personal or anything, but it's just, when I wrote a film that had a female character, it felt too close to home. So I wanted to relate to me, but not be me, if that makes any sense. So that's why I chose Jason, and he was a middle-aged man, because I wanted this whole difference in time than when he left Palestine and when he came to Palestine. So it made sense to have him in his late 30s, early 40s. Also, my actor, Mr. Nabil Al-Rai, I really loved working with him. I worked with him before on a short film, and this man, he's just an amazing actor. He was super understanding, because we were students filming and everything was a mess. So he was super understanding. So even though I kind of knew what I wanted the story to be about, I also had it in the back of my mind that I want this specific actor to do this specific role, because Mr. Nabil Al-Rai, he's one of a kind, super experienced, super patient, and I really loved working with this guy, like so much.
Yeah. Well, since you covered that, I wanted to ask about the goat. How was
that? Yeah, the goat. The goat. So it has a little bit of a funny story. First of all, we were supposed to film in a village, the village that I come from. Okay. But then, with road closures and everything, and I had foreign crew, so we were kind of scared to, like travel 30 kilometers out of the country every day, out of the city every day and come back. You never know, there might be road closures and everything. So when I wanted to film in the village, I already had a goat, and it was my aunt's goat, because my aunt lives with her husband and kids in a farm, and they have like goats. So I wanted to use one of those. Then with the road closures and everything, actually, it was 3 or 4 days before the shoot, I decided that no, I'm not filming in the village, we're filming in the city. So we reproduced the whole thing, found everything once again, like all the locations in the city, which wasn't actually hard to find. We're talking about streets and a house. So they were pretty easy, let's say, to find. So we did the whole reproducing of the film, and we stopped at the goat that, okay, now we need to find the perfect goat. In Palestine, there are areas that have many Bedouins on the streets, which have their goats and camels and everything. So first I found this guy and I asked him for a goat, and he said, okay, sure, you can have it. He gave me an unimaginable price for the goat. It's like as if I'm buying it, but I'm not buying the goat. I just want to take it, return it every day. So, we were desperate, so I agreed. I was with my crew driving back, and we're like, okay, that's it. We're gonna use this huge goat. It's not tiny, and that's it. And while we were walking, it was actually like a movie scene. A little goat, like the same goat that we used, crossed the street in front of us. And we're like, okay, maybe we should use this one. So we followed it, and it was with a whole clan of little goats. We had to stalk the guy, obviously, and we asked him if we can use his goat. He agreed. I'm really grateful for him, and that's how we ended up finding our goat. It was like a whole casting process. Like my human cast did not take as much time as casting this goat, but it happened after all.
Wow. Yeah. You mentioned that you started to shoot in 2023. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to ask you about the whole situation in the zone, in the country. It's been a conflict for the last half a century. Not so recent as some may want to tell a story, but I wanted to ask you about how quickly things escalated. When you were shooting, you were aware that the situation is going to be as bad as it is nowadays?
Honestly, no. Like, even on the day that it happened, we did not know how bad it was. On the set, it was me and the cast who were Palestinians, and me as a director/producer on a short, on a very low budget film, I really did not have the time to go and check what's happening. So I kept rolling. Meanwhile, every once in a while, I look at the cast and the Palestinians on set, and they were all preoccupied. But I honestly, at that moment, I didn't give it much attention because we had a goal in our head that, okay, we're filming and that's it. So that was what we're focused on. During this day, like up until the end, everything started escalating more and more. Like, we'd hear gunshots, we'd hear the streets became empty, and pretty much we were one of the only peoples in the street, which was a bit disturbing for me. But still, I kind of, was going with the style of maybe I shouldn't watch and it will go away or something. It didn't, unfortunately. On that day, we had to cut the shoot pretty early because at that day we were shooting a border scene, and concerns on our safety started happening because we were Israeli costumes, we had Israeli costumes, Israeli props, border props, all of this kind of stuff. So we became a bit scared that the whole day went slower than usual, and we had to end it earlier than usual. And when we went home, this is when we discovered the amount of horrible situation we were on. Like, other than the fact that we were in Palestine, I had a responsibility of 5 of my crew members who were not from Palestine, who I needed to make sure that they're safe. On that day, I told them, because they were living in an Airbnb, so I told them, okay, take your stuff, come to me, we'll figure it all out together. And we were contacting embassies, like each of them was contacting their embassy. Meanwhile, I was contacting the Polish embassy in Palestine, trying to figure out how we're gonna get them out, because at that moment, honestly, you just ignore the film and you become more concerned on the safety of the people you are responsible for. The next day, like we decided that maybe we're not gonna waste our time more, so we're gonna shoot B-rolls to distract ourselves or something. And while we were doing that, they got a phone call from the embassy of Poland in Palestine, telling them that they have to be in the embassy right now. I took them there. They managed to fly through rescue missions from Ben Gurion Airport to Poland. Some of them had to wait a bit. Some of them had to order a special mission. For example, my DOP, he was from Hong Kong. His country did not send a mission, I believe, as well as my gaffer, who was from Lithuania, whose country did not send a mission, so they had to basically order a mission by themselves, and they paid a lot to be able to get out of there after being stuck in the airport for a while. And then there was me, who I'm a holder of Palestinian passport, so nobody could do anything about me. I was stuck there for around 2 weeks, just monitoring the borders, making sure that, when will it open up and everything. And as soon as it did open up, I managed to get out through Jordan and from Jordan to Warsaw. And honestly, this was the moment, like maybe 3 weeks after, when I realized that, okay, it's really something really wrong is going there, because when you're in it, you don't really realize. And also, I wasn't in Gaza itself, I was in the West Bank. And I can't say that it's as bad as Gaza at all, because the West Bank is relatively safer. We do have daily raids there, but it's relatively way safer than Gaza to be in. But still, when you're in it, it's different. You have to use a coping mechanism. In my way, it was humor and comedy always. So we were just laughing about it and everything until the moment I arrived in Warsaw. I opened the news for the first time and I realized how horrible the situation is in Gaza itself. We had family there who we were worried about. We had friends. We had a lot of people there that we needed to make sure that they are safe. But there's always good and evil. There is always evil and good as well. But the good and evil in this situation is that people started talking about Palestine. People started noticing what's happening there. And they started realizing that it did not happen on October 7th. It happened in 1948. And that is honestly the only good thing that is keeping us going, the only thing that is giving us hope. Because people are finally getting educated on the matter. Palestine stopped being in the back of all the news about everything else in the world. It started being on headlines, well, not in the West all the time, but like at least people, humans, I'm not talking about governments, I'm talking about people of governments are realizing what is happening there. So that's the good thing.
Do you see, after almost 2 years of this new wave of violence by Israel, do you see a positive outcome in where, for example, there's like a long-lasting peace or an agreement between the countries? Do you see any positive outcome, or do you think that Israel won't stop until there's no Palestinians left to kill?
I mean, there's always hope that there will be a positive outcome, but honestly, I don't know what to expect for. There are many orphaned children there who will eventually grow up and realize that what happened to them was unfair. I don't know what might happen to those. Like, a lot of things could happen. They are using so many excuses, but at the same time, more excuses are being born, We do hope that there will be some peace agreement or something, but they lost it all, so I don't know how people in Gaza could see the peace anymore. I really do hope that they do, but things are tough right now. But as I said, people are finally knowing what's happening there. People are finally understanding. So maybe this could, people could pressure on their governments or something. More boycotts. Honestly, boycotts are really, really the thing right now. A lot of boycotts are really helping with the cause, so people should know the products that they buy, boycott Israeli products, boycott brands that support Israel. This by itself is basically an economical protest on Israel, and it might cause something, it might be helpful. Hopefully peace will happen soon, because as we can see, people are very capable of making peace. The ceasefire between Iran and Israel, super capable of doing that. So maybe they would be capable for doing the same in Gaza.
I wanted to ask you also about the shape of the shape of the public opinion and the shape shift that has been occurring in the last month or so. I know it's far away, but all of a sudden there's voices in Hollywood of all places raising their voices against Israel, against the genocide. For example, Javier Bardem, which it's an Oscar winner actor, has been outspoken about it. It's been talking about it in late shows, in mainstream media in America, but he seems to be the only one, or there are 2 or 3 more. Do you feel, in a way, as a filmmaker, I know they are long distances, but in the whole body of filmmakers in the world, do you feel abandoned by your own partners in filmmaking?
Yes, definitely. Sometimes a lot of celebrities / filmmakers / anybody who's in the film industry, a lot of them do speak out. Marsha Cross, she's an angel for everything that she's doing. But also, there's this little voice in me that is telling me that maybe they're just doing the bare minimum, because that is the bare minimum that every human should do to support Palestine. We are very grateful for those who speak out. It's really like, in the US, politics are different, for example. So the fact that they spoke out, it means they sacrificed a lot, which we are super grateful for. But we feel that there is still so much more that can be done, not only from filmmakers, but, actors, celebrities, all of these people. Because one word from them could change, the crazy little teenagers who are all over some fandoms or something. One word from them could maybe do something to those people. If one of them, for example, we're talking about young people who are totally brainwashed by the propaganda that is happening to Israel, one word from one celeb can literally change this person's life. We're talking about brainwashing, and I think this can be easily reversed with a little bit of education, because that's all you need at the end. You need to open a book, read a news source, read a reliable news source from a journalist on the ground, and then it's as simple as this. You'll get it. You'll see that what's happening is wrong. A lot of Palestinian filmmakers do feel that they are, let's say, a bit betrayed, especially those who were detained by Israel, because for example, there's one filmmaker who a lot of Palestinian filmmakers worked with. He also helped us a lot with making Qaher. His name is Ma'tan, Abdullah Ma'tan. He was arrested in Palestine for saying more, for being a filmmaker. A lot of other filmmakers like that. Why isn't there more film associations or filmmakers who are talking about these cases? Because at the end, this is our voice. This is how we'll get it out. So why is this happening that when we get out, or when we get our voice out, and if we get arrested, nobody's talking about this? While, other cases, a lot of people are talking about, and I'm not gonna start mentioning because there's a lot of these, but when a filmmaker gets arrested, or a journalist, or a doctor, or anything gets arrested for doing their job, and nobody talks about it, you would feel betrayed. I hope this would not last long, that people from those industries will start waking up, will start speaking out, will have the courage, actually, to start speaking out. Then maybe that wound will heal a little bit.
Thank you for being so honest. This is the last one. So we are here in Valencia speaking about platforms. What does a festival like this one, which is centered around young filmmakers, does for a film like yours, besides the platform, obviously?
Well, first of all, I'm very super grateful for this festival for picking Qaher to be part of their selection. It meant literally the world to us that our film is finally traveling out of Poland and out of its national areas and coming to Spain. Other than the platform, I mean, honestly, contacts. I made very nice contacts here that I hope one day we can collaborate together. Many of those contacts are very interested in Palestinian cinema, so this is also something I'm super grateful for, that filmmakers from all around the world want to make stuff about Palestine. They have ideas that they want to execute, and through this festival, for example, we got to meet, and maybe we'll be able to execute them together. I'm not talking only about Palestine, I'm talking about many areas in the world that have filmmakers who are interested in exploring, and then through events like this, at festivals like this, they meet, more stories are born, more truths are told. Also, I mean, I got to go to Spain, so that's really nice. I've never been, so I'm also very happy about that. Honestly, in some situations, there are moments where you feel like maybe a lot of rejections are happening to this film, and I'm talking about Qaher at this point because of the political views, but then festivals like here, like this one, is just basically there to tell you that no, it's really not about politics, we're about movies. We'd like to spread the word, and we are spreading it, and we're doing as much as we can. So it's kind of a hope note as well, that our stories are being told. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
let's hope the best for your film and for your career.
Thank you so much. It's really nice to talk to you.